Planes are one of the safest, most complex, and most misunderstood machines in the world. We've already talked about what keeps them in the sky and how they handle emergencies. But there's still so much more going on behind the scenes of your average flight. In this video, we're diving into 10 more wild facts about commercial aviation, from sneaky safety features and hidden hardware to just how much training pilots actually get. Let's take off. Fact number 1. Planes can be struck by lightning and keep flying. Yes, commercial planes get struck by lightning. A lot more than you think. In fact, the average commercial airliner gets struck about once a year. But don't worry, planes are built for it. The metal body acts like a Faraday cage, redirecting the electrical current harmlessly around the outside of the plane and out through static discharge wicks on the tail or wings. You might see a flash or hear a loud bang, but passengers and electronics stay completely safe. Fact number 2. Oxygen masks only last around 12 to 15 minutes. Ever wonder how long those drop-down oxygen masks actually work? Answer: just long enough. They provide 12 to 15 minutes of oxygen. But that's intentional. It gives the pilots time to descend the plane to a breathable altitude, usually below 10,000 feet. The air you breathe doesn't come from tanks either. It comes from chemical oxygen generators that ignite when you pull the mask. They're single-use, self-contained, and super reliable. So yeah, if the masks drop, put it on fast. But you're not going to run out of air. The crew is trained to get you down safely before that happens. Fact number 3. You can't open the door mid-flight, no matter what. One of the most common flying fears is, what if someone opens the door while we're flying? Short answer: they can't. At cruising altitude, the cabin is pressurized to simulate lower altitudes, but outside pressure is near zero. The result? The door is sealed shut by pressure, with thousands of pounds pushing against it. Physically, it's impossible to open, even if you tried with tools or a team of people. You'd have a better shot trying to open a bank vault from the inside in a tornado. So relax, the doors are locked, literally by physics. Fact number 4. The cabin lights dim for emergency prep. Ever notice the cabin lights dim during takeoff and landing at night? That's not just for ambiance. It's a safety measure. Dimming the lights helps your eyes adjust to darkness, just in case there's an emergency evacuation. Same reason the flight attendants ask you to raise your window shades. It gives the crew better visibility outside the aircraft if something goes wrong. Every detail in those final minutes before takeoff and landing, it's carefully designed to prep for the worst, while hoping for the best. Fact number 5. Planes can glide for miles with no engines. Let's say both engines fail mid-air. Worst case scenario, right? Even then, you're not falling out of the sky. Planes can glide for dozens of miles without any engine power. For example, a Boeing 777 at cruising altitude, 35,000 feet, has a glide ratio of about 15.1, meaning it can glide around 100 miles in calm air. There are real cases too, like the Gimli glider in 1983, when an Air Canada 767 ran out of fuel and glided safely to an old runway with no engine power. Pilots train for this. The plane can still be flown, controlled, and landed safely. Fact number 6. Pilots use checklists for everything. You might imagine airline pilots just know how to fly by memory. But in reality, flying a commercial plane is like running a procedure manual, and checklists are king. There are checklists for engine start, taxi, takeoff, landing, and emergencies, like smoke, fire, or engine failure. Why? Because even highly trained pilots can forget things under stress. Checklists remove guesswork. They're how commercial aviation stays so consistent and safe. This isn't a sign of inexperience. It's a sign of professionalism. Fact number 7. The wings hold most of the fuel. Ever wonder where the jet fuel goes? It's not all in the body of the plane. Most of it is stored in the wings. They're massive fuel tanks, strong, flexible, and balanced for flight. This design keeps the plane's center of gravity stable, which is crucial for aerodynamics and handling. It also frees up cargo space below and reduces the stress on the aircraft by keeping weight distributed. That slight flex you see in the wings during turbulence, that's not just structural, it's fuel in motion. Fact number 8. There's a tiny hole in your window on purpose. Look closely next time you're in the window seat. There's a tiny pinhole in the middle window pane. It's called a bleed hole, and it serves a few critical purposes. It allows pressure to equalize between the cabin and window panes. It prevents fogging or icing between layers, and it ensures the outer pane bears the load, not the inner one. That little dot? It's one of the many reasons commercial aviation is as safe as it is. Fact number 9. The tray tables have to be up during takeoff and landing, not because of turbulence, but for your safety in an emergency. Here's why. Takeoff and landing are the most dangerous parts of a flight. Statistically, over 80% of accidents happen during these phases. If something goes wrong, you might need to evacuate fast. A tray table down? It could block your path or delay the person next to you from getting out quickly. It's a small inconvenience that could save precious seconds in an emergency. So tray up, seatbelt on. Now you know why they insist on it. Fact number 10. Pilots train in full-motion simulators, and they're intense. Before a pilot ever flies passengers, they've spent hundreds of hours in a simulator. And these sims are no joke. They're full-motion cockpits mounted on hydraulic platforms that can simulate crosswinds, engine fires, instrument failures, emergency landings, bird strikes. Every button, screen, and control is identical to the real aircraft. And pilots retrain multiple times per year, proving they can handle anything, not just normal flying. So when you hear that your pilot only has simulator time, trust me, that training is more intense than most real flights. Flying may feel routine, but every trip through the sky is powered by some of the smartest engineering and strictest safety systems on Earth. So next time you're 35,000 feet up, just remember, you're not just flying, you're riding inside a technological masterpiece. If you like this one, check out the other video in this series. Drop a comment with your wildest flying question, and we might answer it in the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.